Welcome back, survivors. I'm the SurvivalVis, and we return to ecosystem. So, last episode we were just kind of doing a little bit of plotting around, seeing what we can kind of do and adjust and change. I'm going to see about trying to expand more of like our dead spots, or well, not expand them, but shrink them, but try and get more life into them. This is probably going to make my computer hate me, but, I mean, it's something we can still try and do. So this is... Oh, these guys actually work well with the current, so you know what? Maybe I'll see about... trying to get them... Yeah, we'll try getting these guys onto these little outcrops here, and just see kind of what happens. There should technically be the current that will go around or nearby that they could go on. So we'll try doing that there. Where are some dead areas? Okay, like this corner here, it did have, but there's like nothing here now, so... Let's try to get some things growing again. Oh, giant kelp. You know what? We don't actually have just regular kelp in anywhere. Oh, okay, and it is giant. Oh, wow. It is much more giant than I was expecting. So let's make a proper kelp forest in this area, and it actually does better because we do have so many animals around here. So we'll let that start growing there. We'll also see about some miscellaneous things. Oh yeah, it looks like these guys will do very good here because of all the forager species. And let's see even just about a few tube sponges. Again, we're just going to try some random stuff all over the place, see what kind of springs up or manages to survive. Yeah, this is another area that basically got, like, devoured out of all plant life. So I just want to see... Let's just toss around some random stuff, see what sticks and what doesn't. I mean, we've got so many points that we've saved up from just, like, playing the game and messing around. We might as well try to do some stuff. So, you know what, let's try some giant kelp around here. Oh yeah, this is supposed to help the eco health quite a bit. Not helping my computer out, but I mean, I guess we're going to push it to its limits this episode, and we'll see what we can kind of get out of it. No, we want to back out. There we go. We've got some interesting ones coming out. So, we've got some albino uromons, which are an established species. The Leviathans, unfortunately, are not doing too good. I think it's... I'm not sure why they're not doing the best. I do think because of the mess that is, like, the very back end of them, that just, like, slows and causes them a lot of drag. Okay, so we got... Well, there should be some life up here, but maybe it's actually been eaten out because of how... Maybe all the coral... Maybe that's why this area hasn't really, like, developed as much as I thought it might. Too much, like, coral and miscellaneous stuff. Maybe that kind of inhibited the growth a bit, but we'll let all of that spring up, because that will hopefully bring some life back to this area. And the mountain is... still looking pretty... barren. Not too much really making use of it, but I'm not sure if anything really can at this stage. And we've got some areas that are still pretty empty of things. So, I don't want to keep using giant kelp, because like that seems to be the one I always go for. We'll use some milfoil though. Nah, we've already got the other kelp. We'll stick to some more of the common stuff, like the seagrass is a good one to plant down. Just kind of let that go. Oh, this looks like this area is kind of... Okay, I don't think I put quite this much bulk kelp, so it... I'm surprised how much this has spread, though. I thought this would be, like, a big lure in for a lot of, like, forager species and that, but... Not that much is actually around here, despite all of, like, the green here. And then do we have anything in our little cavern here? I think I've only seen a few animals, but nothing that actually, like, took up residence in here. I thought this would be something that a few forager species would come and really make use of, but it doesn't seem like they have. Either that, or maybe the Leviathans called it home, so nothing really wanted to try living in that. Oh, and this poor little corner here is completely barren as well, so let's see what else we can put down here. I want something that does have high adaptability. Oh, and just regular seaweed, why not? Again, we'll try to get more of this, more just like the basic plants growing before I add in more miscellaneous stuff, just to see if maybe that does have a little impact on what does go down. We'll put some plankton around as well. Not sure. Maybe it'll help with some forager species to, like, just become things. Yeah, so we'll do that and leave that there. And everything is basically kind of met a little bit of an equilibrium right now. Like, Leviathans are managing to survive. There are only 8 right now, but they're at least still in existence. There's a lot of other species of, like, just blobs and stuff going about. Migrating, and hunting. Not sure what you're hunting, because I think you have ample food all around you. You're trying to go straight up, though, aren't you? Sort of. But yeah, so that's probably a lesson I learned from the Leviathan, is don't go too overboard with, like, so many limbs and too complicated of a creature too early. I think right now it's mostly just trying to get general shapes and see how they fare in environments. Well, this area's looking not too bad. This was an area that we put down the kelp, although it hasn't really spread as much as I thought it would. Things like that do take time, though, and one thing about ecosystem is you almost have to leave it to go on its own for quite a while before you might see some more noticeable changes. That's kind of like how we started with things like the initial spots when we put down, like, plant life and that, where it's been devoured entirely. And around here, not too many changes. What about this area? I thought we put some stuff down around here, didn't we? Yeah, there is some stuff down, it's just that it doesn't seem to have, like, spread at all. Which is kind of peculiar. I thought that the last time, or some of the other times we put stuff down, it was fairly fast to spread and, like, populate the area. It doesn't seem to be the case right now. Yeah, there's nothing too much I want to... No, well, you're happy, which is good to know. I'm still surprised that the telecell are not one of our, like, established species. The telechar are, which are... I mean, they don't look very happy with how the limbs are working on them. Now, you're a mass. Maybe that's why the Leviathans are having such a hard time, like... Because I made them poly, which I think means they do need a partner to mate. Actually, I should check that in the editor. Let's do that. Let's open up the editor. Save creature, edit creature. Yeah, so you always start out with the same typical blob-looking thing. So you got mass, poly, or mono. I think mono basically is, well, generally what humans are, is one-to-one pairing for life. Poly, I think, is they'll just partner and whatever. Mass, I think, is more something like salmon or typical fish, where it's exit without saving, or it's just like all of it's in the water and it eventually, like, combines to make the next generation. That's kind of, I guess, the PG terminology for it, because there's much more you could be said on that. But that might explain why the Leviathans are having such problems, is they need, like, much more specific things going on than what they are right now. I really thought that we would see more from the current, so... Okay, well, we did another run of the current. We'll see if that does anything. I think that is basically where ecosystem will probably be for, like, our non-creative mode playthrough, because the only thing to really do from here is leave it and see what changes come about, but I don't think we're going to see all that much. Nothing's really been spreading from what we've initially put down. Some areas are completely abundant with stuff, yet nothing's going for them. Others are a bit more desolate and empty. I'm surprised that nothing is really, like, going to certain areas. But we've had a little bit of experimenting, some fun trying to just make our ecosystem. We got everything researched. I think this is a good little kind of stopping point for our ecosystem coverage right now. I think it really will come into a little bit more of trying to advance how creatures are, like, generated, and also maybe a bit more coding into how the limbs are supposed to work and stuff like that. Because right now, a lot of them are just familiar forms of, well, what the Areltro are or the Telechar are, where it's just a central blob with a bunch of limbs all over the place instead of anything that's, like, trying to coordinate itself a bit more. I think that little bit more direction could help with the ecosystem's random generation. But for right now, it is an interesting showcase to show off, like, the terraforming tools, how you can really make the environment whatever you want. When we do the creative mode come next week, we'll definitely show that off quite a bit. Because I want to see, like... Okay, no, I want F2. There we go. Yeah, like, I could make things such as the kelp forest using the giant kelp, and then there's also this, maybe not seaweed, but... where is seagrass? That is something, isn't there? I thought there was seaweed. There's seagrass. You can put that down for, like, replicating the idea of the certain other areas. And then there is also a lot of stuff like the different kinds of terrain. So we have rock, pale reef, dark sand, red reef, sand. It's like there's a lot of options here for different things that we could try and do. It's a very good example to show that ecosystem still has a lot of untapped potential as it develops and keeps growing and getting closer to a full launch. With it being only into its early access release now, I'm expecting there's going to be some fair updates coming ahead in the future. Probably going to be a while for them, but again, that's just let the developers work at their own pacing and see what comes of it. I was just looking to see if there's anything else to really show off or, like, take up some time, but I don't think there's that much. Like, yeah, right now it's... I think it's just kind of we showing off where the game is at the most part for what's currently available. But there, I don't think we have to really, like, move anything around. We've talked about all of these. I mean, there's so many different things you can really populate close to however you'd like. Honeycomb coral. Wait, so does that mean there's supposed to be... Does it... No, it doesn't need other honeycomb. Oh. I heard something odd there for a second. I was just trying to see, because it says it +1 times honeycomb. Okay, so they do actually need each other to, like, give you more stuff to it. Like, there's a lot of ins and outs, and I'm sure there's a lot more to the systems I haven't even tapped into yet. But this was, I think, a pretty good overview for Ecosystem, just how its early access launch currently is, some of the stuff you can get up to, and just the weird little bit of fun and wacky projects you can create. Oh, actually, I think Okay, I think the kelp has developed a bit more than I initially put down, because it feels like it's spread a lot more than I was initially started with. I don't know if these two actually matched up, or they just kind of are naturally drawn to each other, but there's that going on right there. And then we got just some tubes there, but... oh, we got some more stuff starting to propagate into the trench. So, another big thing is, again, it just takes time. And that's something for YouTube, or just, like, doing videos in general. I can't say I'd leave the computer for a couple of hours just recording and then come back, because I got stuff I gotta kind of do aside from this, but... it is something where if you can just, like, leave it for a while, try that and see what happens when you come back later and what changes have come about. Because Ecosystem, it is meant for a longer running game. It's meant more you lay out the groundwork and then watch how it all develops, evolves, and adapts on its own. It might not be one of the best games to do series like this on, but I still wanted to cover it and show off what it has for potential. Oh, Lord. This is... move the camera right into these guys. So yeah, I'm going to definitely cover the creative mode. I don't think it'll be quite as long. It might just be 4 episodes. We'll just kind of see what we can do with it. And it's just a good way to show off how the state of the game is right now. I would try to take this a little bit longer, but I've already repeated this rant, I think, once. So we'll probably end things off here. Thank you guys very much for joining me on Ecosystem this episode. If you did like the video, be sure to give us a like, and if you have any comments, tips, or tricks, be sure to leave everything right on down below in the comments. I always try to respond to any feedback or questions as soon as they come up on the channel. Until I see you all in the next video or episode, though, survivors, please remember, as always, to take care and stay alive.